Okay, this is part 2 of my vlog for the day. So this is gonna be really nerdy, just because that's where I go. So clairvoyance and law of attraction, or telepathy, clairvoyance, whatever you want to call it, like, you know, knowing the future, seeing the future, having an intuition of the future, or actually like being able to know specific events that could occur, right? That's one concept. And then the law of attraction, where you manifest something to happen. So I've experienced both of these things in my life. Interesting enough, I feel that I was more telepathic when I was a child. I remember specific things like, oh my gosh, I creeped out babysitters. I remember one of my babysitters singing this song, and I don't know how old I was, but I was like, oh, that song's on the radio and right now. I said, that song's on the radio right now. And she was like, no, they don't play this song on the radio. This is not a radio song. And I was like, that song's on the radio. And she's like, it's not. She just kept kind of going back and forth. And I was like, and I don't remember if I turned on the radio or I told her to turn on the radio. She finally turned on the radio. Right at that moment, that song was playing. And she was like freaking out. I also like guessed her family's birthdays or some weird stuff like that. There was also an incident where I remember like standing outside the bathroom door and thinking in my head, if my mom, or when my mom calls me to help her because there's a spider in the bathroom, am I going to help her? Because I also don't like spiders. Like 2 seconds later, she called me saying that there was a spider in the bathroom. So weird stuff like that. Like I've kind of had a lot of that thing going on in my life, but I've also experienced law of attraction where I like put my energy towards something that I like really wanted. One of the things was I really wanted to be a finalist in this big international songwriting competition. And this particular year, I was really working on that, like, you know, manifesting that, and then it happened. And like specifics, like down to like that, I don't know, so I've experienced both, but I'm starting to wonder, what if telepathy and law of attraction are one and the same? So it's like chicken or the egg. Like, did we pre-create what we want before we got here as humans? Like, did we already create that before we got here? But also time doesn't really exist. So thinking of it in terms of consciousness, we already saw what was to come, or we already know what's to come. It's already that. So the information possibly is just already what it is. And I know people are going to go, but what about free will? But here's the thing, again, time is not linear. We can't think of the act of clairvoyance, the knowing, as being linear, because we always know, because we are the knowing, we are the all, we are everything. So if that's true, which we have science to back these things up, then the act of law of attraction, the manifestation, maybe isn't necessarily manifesting as much as just remembering that that's what you want, and remembering that's part of you, or remembering that you already have it. And that's why they use practices like with law of attraction, that you already have, imagine that you already have it, but not imagine that you already have it, because you actually already do. Because you are it, you are the it. I don't know. Woo! So there's all these things that I'm thinking about, that I'm going down and just contemplating, and like, because, you know, again, like the consciousness, what that is, we can't even put words to it. And like, we think that we have consciousness, but in fact, we are consciousness, and what we have is a mind and a body. And when we can utilize these things to our benefit, then I think we are able to utilize time for our benefit, and then we become healthier, we can look younger, we can make magic. I don't know. Maybe I'm full of shit, but it feels kind of cool. It feels right. It feels, I don't know. Just some thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts. And just because I'm saying that I'm like taking a step away doesn't mean I'm not curious about your thoughts or wanting to know your thoughts or will check in about your thoughts. It just means I'm just filtering and managing my time more from the obsessive comments. Does that make sense? So that I don't get so caught up in that as being how I'm valued. All right, so many words. Go meditate. Mwah.